Good evening and welcome to another edition of Penn State Sports Night. I am John Keenan and alongside me is Ryan Lam, and let's get straight into this week's sports update. The college football playoff rankings are now set in stone. An SEC championship win over Georgia cements LSU as the #1 ranked team. The Tigers will return to Mercedes-Benz Stadium to square off against the reigning Big 12 champs Oklahoma in the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl on December 28th at 4 p.m. Despite a come-from-behind Big Ten championship victory over Wisconsin, Ohio State falls to #2 in the rankings. The Buckeyes will be going head-to-head against the reigning national champs in the #3 Clemson Tigers. The two teams will be playing on December 28th in the Fiesta Bowl, with the start time projected to be around 8 p.m. Although Ohio State is the higher-ranked team, Clemson is the 2.5-point favorite in this matchup. Should be fun to watch. Penn State fans, your Nittany Lions will travel to Texas to play in the Cotton Bowl against a tough Memphis Tigers team, but are 7-point favorites in the matchup.
We have some great action the past week with soccer. Manchester United was able to reel off 2 straight wins against Big Six teams, defeating Spurs and Man City 2-1 on Wednesday and Saturday. Marcus Rashford led the way with 3 goals in those marquee matchups, while players like Fred and Scott McTominay starred in the midfield. Leicester City continued its hot run and defeated Aston Villa 4-1 on the road, leaping up to second place in the league behind Jamie Vardy's 16 goals this season. In Bundesliga, Borussia Dortmund found its form back by defeating Düsseldorf 5-0, while first place Borussia Mönchengladbach knocked off Bayern Munich with a 92nd minute penalty. Finally, the NCAA Women's Soccer Championship saw the #1 and #2 teams in the country face off against each other in Stanford and UNC. For the first time in College Cup history, the match ended in a 0-0 draw after 110 minutes, with the #1 offense in the country halted by the Tar Heels. However, redshirt freshman goalkeeper Katie Meyer made 2 saves in the penalty shootout to give the Cardinal its 3rd College Cup win.
Now for news around the NBA. The Lakers, following an impressive 50-point performance from Anthony Davis, now have the best record in the NBA. Carmelo Anthony appears to be settling in his role with the Trailblazers, as he is averaging about 16 points and 6 rebounds in his opening games. With the unofficial start to the trade season kicking off on December 15th, the Cleveland Cavaliers are prepared to get off the books for All-Star forward Kevin Love. While being a huge contributor during the Cavs' 2016 title run, the team is now stuck in rebuild mode, and therefore are looking to keep the youth movement going in Cleveland. In other news, David Fizdale is the first head coach to get canned after the New York Knicks went 4-19 to start the season. We all know the Knicks have not been good for a while, so let's see if the interim head coach Mike Miller can figuratively spray Febreze on this dumpster fire franchise.
It was a big weekend for combat sports. In the main event of Third Coast Grappling 3, former NCAA champion and Nittany Lion Bo Nickel was submitted by Gordon Ryan, the top grappler in the competition, via a triangle armbar. In UFC DC, there were a few standout performances. In the prelims, Bryce Mitchell submitted Matt Sales via twister. It's the second time it's happened in the UFC after the Korean zombie Chan Sung-jung did it in 2011. There were 2 majority draws in the main card, with Cody Stamann, Song Yadong, and Marina Rodriguez, Cynthia Calvillo ending in a draw. In the main event, Yerginio Rosenstrike knocks out Alistair Overeem, who's been leading the fight for the entirety, with 4 seconds left on the clock. Finally, in boxing, we saw the rematch between Anthony Joshua and Andy Ruiz in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. The fight went to distance and Joshua looked like he had the upper hand the whole fight, controlling the action with his reach advantage. The Brit Joshua claimed the WBA, IBF, WBO, and IBO heavyweight titles in his unanimous decision win, with 2 of the judges scoring it 118-110 and 119-109. So John, what are you looking forward to this weekend in sports?
I'm looking forward to Penn State basketball. They're facing #4 Maryland tomorrow night, and I think it'll be a great competition for them, hopefully with tournament runs in their minds. I think that's going to be a great game for them. What are you looking forward to?
Well, the East Asian Football Championship is going on in the final rounds. Saw Hong Kong play, actually South Korea and Japan, 2 very tough opponents, Wednesday, Saturday this week. So let's see if the Hong Kong boys can put in a good performance in, well, an international tournament for once. This wraps up the last edition of Penn State Sports Update for this semester. For John Keenan, I'm Ryan Lam, and thanks for tuning in.
Thank you for watching our latest edition of Penn State Sports Night. If you're a fan of our content, please be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more clips. Also follow us on Twitter at PSSNTV and on Instagram at PSU Sports Night to keep up with the action. For all my colleagues, we are Penn State Sports Night.